This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, we've got a protein review. Dan's hired himself a coach, and functional training is making a comeback. Right, 3, 2, 1. Did you know it was hotter than Spain in the UK this week, Dan?
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Dan Meek.
It was hotter than Africa as well. Did you know that, Dan?
No, I didn't. I didn't, mate. I did not know that. Although I'm pleasantly surprised by it.
Absolute classics is the British population coming straight
And we probably got less
out.
COVID as well. So, do you know what I mean?
All winning. I love it. As soon as there's any bright weather, the British population all the news things. It's like England hotter than like Spain, hotter than the French coast. Oh my god! It's like, all right, well,
Hey, the amount of barbecues that were out today, mental.
Was it? Oh, Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
Loads. I was like out in the garden. I could just smell barbecue all over the place.
I did see that clip from Gavin and Stacey of just Smithy just going,
I love a barbecue.
Oh, I just love a barbecue. Yeah, it was just
they are so good.
True. Barbecues are good. Not pizza ovens, mate. Barbecues.
No.
I know. What hard choices you have to live with. Jesus. For the last 4 years you had to go at me about being in a penthouse. Dan's complaint when he came on, I don't know whether to get a nice barbecue or a pizza oven. Oh, interesting.
It's not me that's choosing me. I've got the barbecue, hands down. She's the one, pizza oven would be nice. I'm like, when have you ever fucking made pizza from scratch? No,
she goes and gets a Chicago town microwave one and puts it in there.
Yeah, exactly.
We're using it all the time, Daniel.
Stupid, mate. Stupid.
Beautiful. Yeah. But yeah, nice weather. I went out on it a little bit. Unfortunately, I had to work, but
makes a hell of a difference to everyone's mood in general.
Everyone's mood, especially when it coincided with we're allowed to meet 6 people, and we actually walked around Regent's Park today. I was like, "There's more than 6. You're more than 6."
Yeah, people have just taken it, haven't they? They've just taken it, run with it. I think. Yeah. Do you know what? I was thinking this earlier. I saw, as you do, stuff on Facebook of people sharing pictures of people. I think it was a park in Nottingham they were sharing a picture of, and it was just people all over the place hugging and celebrating or whatever, meeting up with people. And do you know what? It's got to the point where I'm just like, I don't care enough to be angry or annoyed.
The thing is as well, I
don't blame people.
Old Mr. Whitty was out, what he said yesterday, and I was like, yeah, to be fair, he showed the data on. This will be the briefest COVID chat. Let's get this over and done with in 2 minutes, Dan, because everybody's bored with COVID. But it was the case of infections will go up. I was like, but it's something like 65 to 70% of all infections across the country are all associated with the 18 to 45-year-olds. It's all us fuckers that spread it around. But obviously we account for less than 5% of deaths. And he was like, therefore, and all the people above the 45 are already vaccinated now as well. So they've already got it. So it will rise. That he was like, the infections will probably rise from where it is now. What we don't we're barely on anything, are we? 5,000
I don't know.
It's not massive. And then London actually did, was it yesterday or today? No deaths at all, which is pretty remarkable. And then he was like, yeah, but we expect the deaths to stay the same. Or just keep level. So that's cool. I think people will go, oh my God, infections are going back up. It's like, no, he literally explained it. So that's what is going to happen because everybody's out and about a little bit more. But
it's more about the hospitals reaching capacity. That's the issue. Correct, it's not about whether we've got infections. Because
he was just like, these people are the ones that got infected normally anyway. So those are the ones that keep getting infected. But the fact is, they don't get hospitalized and die. So it doesn't really matter. And it was just this graph of as soon as it was this, then it hit over 50 and it's whoosh in terms of deaths. And then it was just this big chunk. Because we're the guys that move around the most. Apart from Dan, stays in the office 24/7, just curled up in a ball. But
literally don't do anything.
So yeah, but it was nice. It was nice walking around. Did a little bit. I went to Regent's Park today. About it. My bike's been serviced and sorted and stuff. I got new
Wow.
chain, new drivetrain, basically it's a different bike as far as I'm concerned. I think the only thing is that the frame that's the same.
Yeah.
They've just like
It's
they've
like
got this new. It's like the old thing was like with was it the person's broom? It's like it's the same broom.
Only Fools and Horses. Only Fools and Horses. Yeah, I've had the same broom for 16 years. It's had 16 different handles and 17 different heads. Same broom then.
Yeah, so
Classic.
it's basically anything that. I think the frame's the same, and they're like they wanted to charge me like 35 quid to redo my handlebar tape. I was like, all right, so it's okay. I was like, Jesus,
35 quid for a bit of tape.
Oh.
Fucking hell, is that not just the same as like a tennis grip handle? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. And the thing is, they repaired the end of it anyway. I did spend like nearly 200 quid on all the other stuff. So I was like, they probably was like, yeah, we'll do that. It's fine. But it was just like, all right. Yeah. Who knew that servicing my bike cost the exact same as servicing my car this year?
Yeah.
I was like,
mad, isn't it?
oh, okay, that's an interesting thing. At least the bike service people literally came to my house and took it from me and then took it away and then brought it back
something
to me.
at least.
So I was that lazy, guys. Yeah, I couldn't be bothered to go to a bike shop. I made them come to me. That's their service.
Nowadays, mate, everyone's coming to everyone now because of this, because of last year.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
Easy. I had someone come fix my brakes the other day. Like, they provided that home service at the same price. I was like, well, yeah. Like,
we actually saw that today. I was walking with a client past down Regent's Park, and then there's like it's not like the Crescent, but it's like that run of houses before on the south side. There's all those people, all those houses, and there was a big ass like transit Mercedes thing, really like long one. And we were walking past it. It was like photo shoots happening, all this stuff. It was like the plushest hair salon inside the like massive Mercedes Transit. It looked like high class as hell. We were like, bloody hell! It looked pretty legit. Maybe I'll go in there.
Allowed?
I don't know. I don't know if hairdressing's allowed yet. I mean, not gonna say anything, but I definitely didn't get my haircut on the weekend. I'm filming, so I'm all right. So I need to have it for my job. I need to have it for my job. My dad was like, "What? That's not allowed." I was like, "I'm not comparing myself to everybody on telly, but don't want to look scruffy. This course will probably be there for the next 10 years without doing all the videos. It's like, do I really just be like, nah, couldn't have got a haircut, could you, Tom? Couldn't shave your beard a little bit? No, apparently not. My dad didn't let me. Yeah. So he was frowned upon. And obviously we're not allowed to mention COVID in any of the lectures and stuff as we're going through this. Why are you standing awkwardly far away from that client, Tom? Just like, no reason at all. Absolutely no reason. I just like standing this far away.
This is how far away I would stand normally.
Yeah.
So
that's a big desk. Yeah, we got a really long desk. So yeah, interesting. Why is that person wearing? No, they're not wearing a mask. Yeah, just really dusty back there. Really dusty. All right, mate. We got to talk about. We each got two subjects. We're going to talk about why Mr. Daniel Meek. I thought too many people were giving you kind of love on your Instagram post, so I just put. Loser.
I know. Far too nice. So I said to Mike, it was a weird response that I didn't think that many people would be. Well, we'll talk about it, but that many people would care.
Dan's got a coach, and we'll talk about Dan having a coach. We have both had various coaches for our style lives, depending on different walks of life. But we're going to strictly talk about physical. I guess it's PT. Dan's having a PT because he's a shit PT. It's not because he's a shit PT. And then we're going to delve because it's sneaking back up into the world, and it's annoying the fuck out of me. And I've been triggered this week already. If anybody's listening from the MyProtein PT group, you already know who I am. And yeah, I didn't go off on one. I just did a valid explanation, and I will do an IGTV this week. Just haven't been around to it because I'm writing fucking scripts. Maybe I get Gordon to film it tomorrow. I'll do it I'll do it whilst all it's lit up. That'll look much nicer, won't it? I'll probably have to hide the PTC logo because it'll be too. It might be an expletive or two. But yeah, about functional training, it's creeping back into the stratosphere of PT. I don't know whether people have just spent. Basically, people have spent too much outside training, and it's all the air's gone to our heads, all that oxygen. Yeah,
could be.
And then poor little lad Joey, Joey the intern. We call him Young Joe, and until he's like forever known as Young Joe. He'll turn 30. We'll still call him Young Joe. He was doing some B stance, contralateral loaded high rack squats. I was like, you've made that sound incredibly complicated. I'd just be like, that's a B stance squat and chuck that high rack position. With one kettlebell, just be normal. But yeah, and he was like, this is functional training. Go follow Tom if this is where I've learned this from. And he was like, I'm still checking out the form. It's a lot different to how I have been training, but I'm really enjoying it. Form's a little bit. And I was like, it's not functional, Joe. It is functional, but please don't call me that.
Yeah.
So
it is functional, but it's not functional. So and
then he might listen to this as well. Joey does listen, and then he called it sports specific, and I was like, it's not even sports specific, Joe.
Yeah.
I was like, performance. I basically all my stuff is training for performance. I'd say that. I was like, it doesn't matter what you're performing in, but for performance is fine. I just hate the term functional. Sport specific, I get, but I don't know what is sport specific about a B stance squat. Everyday squatting, that's what it's like. I explain a little bit in the PTC stuff. It's just like, all right, we'll talk about it in a bit for how maybe unilateral squatting and stuff is probably more plausible than most bilateral squatting. Very rare. I got somebody doing last week. I was like, yeah, can you do some B stance broad jumps? Like, what? Why? I was like, how often do you actually line yourself up on the line and jump perfectly in a broad jump other than for a performance-based test? Incredibly rare. And I was like, why don't we stagger that stance and jump? I was like, good point. Yeah. Most of the jumps probably are from one leg or the other. So let's do that, shall we? With a little step on the other side. But it blew their mind. I was like, whoa, Jesus Christ.
That's what you're all about, isn't it, Tom?
Blowing exactly. Blowing people. I was just like, can you just put your foot back a little bit? What? No way. No, it has to be perfectly symmetrical. Doesn't, does it? Like, doesn't.
Really doesn't.
Just keep swapping them each side. What? No way. Yeah, just do that, mate. All right. We got to do a protein bar review. Are you going to do the jingle?
We haven't got a jingle.
We need one. I'll do a. I'm not at my house. I'm at Chloe's house. So I don't have a ukulele here. I will endeavour to learn something on the. Should I do a ukulele? Because that's more. Or
I think you should do something.
I think I should either get a guitar or a ukulele. I don't have a. Dan, it's your birthday coming up as well, isn't it?
This weekend, mate. Yeah.
This weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to buy me for your birthday, a banjolele.
Ukulele.
A banjolele.
Okay, cool.
A banjolele.
What's the difference?
I've got a ukulele. I've always wanted to play the banjo. I think I can play all guitars. So, and I was just like, but a banjolele is a small, like a banjo that looks like a ukulele. It's like, it's pretty cool. Well, I need to learn to play the banjo, I think, as well.
Probably,
so yeah. But I think I can play guitars. It's the same thing, anyway. But anyway, protein bar review. So
I've got another one from Nickis Fit Kitchen we talked about before.
Correct. So we've decided to do like a boutique versus mainstream. So I walked into my local Sainsbury's. I know things are going pretty well, guys. And I went and picked up 5 protein bars, and I'm gonna let Dan choose which one I'm gonna have. These are all ready because I thought because more the reason I didn't have any protein bars, and the company that we ordered from 10 days ago, they still haven't come. No, but they are coming apparently. Awful. We both had delivery stuff, so delivery not great. And we'll mention that when we do a review. Yeah, so we've got one of these. I believe you know this brand, Maximuscle.
Oh, they're back out, are they? Are they back?
I haven't heard a lot of Maximuscle lately.
No, I haven't.
It's a weird one. So you've got cookies and cream. We've got a Maximuscle salted caramel, and then we have 2 versions of Tribe white chocolate and raspberry. To be fair, these are terrible protein content. And Tribe chocolate peanut butter. Of course, it's plant-based, so it's got terrible protein content. And then we've got...
it won't taste great either.
And Misfits, which is also plant-based. What have I done?
I was about to say that was a big mistake, wasn't it? Plant-based stuff.
So which one should we do? Tried, Misfits, or Max
Yeah,
Muscle?
the last one, the plant-based last one you picked, Misfits.
Misfits, yeah. You want me to do this one?
Do that one.
We're then do a Misfits bar because I picked all the stuff I'd never have. There was like loads of obviously grenades and stuff like that, and I was like, we're not going to review those because everybody knows what they taste like.
Well, I had a grenade apple crumble one earlier today. Oh no, yesterday. Not good. Not really? Good. Do not recommend.
I don't think it's a good flavor to do because I was Chloe said before we were talking about it. I had an apple crumble Kit Kat. And then I like posted it when I was having it last week, and then a lot of people were like, "Oh, what was it like?" And I was like, "If I had a normal Kit Kat and the apple crumble Kit Kat, I would trick the normal Kit Kat every single time."
Yeah, just not good, is it?
It's trying to improve on a spectacular chocolate bar anyway. All right, so you got Nikki's Fit Kitchen.
I've got a birthday cake cup, so a white chocolate cup with sprinkles, vanilla whey, and strawberry jam. It's kind of fallen apart though, so it's kind of a bit hard to eat. That's one thing I will say. But we'll let Nikki off because she makes it by hand, so we'll let her off.
I think mine may have been delivered today then, or they're on their way, aren't they? You tend to get it a day before me, I think, last time. So you're going to crack through that. Then I have a Misfits vegan protein, 15 grams of protein, less than 1 gram sugar, plant-based dark chocolate raspberry, high protein bar. 15 grams means high protein now. I guess it's actually okay in terms of this because the macros on it, we've only got 189 calories for 15 grams of protein. It's not actually too bad. That's all right. Fats, 10 grams, carbs, 6 grams, fiber, 8 grams, protein, 15.3, and it is vegan. So, yeah. Lovely. I mean, Dan's chewing away, so I feel like I need to talk shop whilst you go for it.
Fine. So that's 230 calories, 20 grams of protein, and that is super soft. It's softer and less chewy than the chewy protein pantry versions. It's not good. It's not got any cakey bit in it, but it's like the chewier protein pantry ones. Because it's thinner, it doesn't take as long to chew it. It's not as chewy, and the jam in it means that it's actually really nice, like bite to it. It's not just that chewy bit you get in a protein pantry bar. I'm not a fan of just the normal plain protein pantry ones without any cake bit in it or the crispy bit in it. It's like that, but only because it's thinner, it's not as dense. Very, very good. I like that a lot.
How's it rate compared to, obviously we've tried 2 from Nikki's Fit Kitchen previously?
Oh, that's the best one out of the ones that she sent us.
Cool.
Easy, I would say.
Easy.
And I think she's improved it because she said to me once she sent those ones, she said, that even since sending those, she'd improved the recipes.
Yeah, so I was like, as well. Oh.
And then the other one we've got as well that you've got, which we might try next week because we'll both have it, is white chocolate hazelnut, which of course is the whole inspiration from the hazelnut cream.
Nice.
That's very nice. I want to finish the rest of it, but I can't really eat it right now. I need to wash my hands because it's a little bit falling apart. I can still hear you though. I've got headphones on. Don't worry.
All right, wonderful. So the Misfits bar really surprised me. It's
plant-based.
It's actually quite nice. It is plant-based, but it's actually quite nice. Yeah. And mainly there's nothing on it that says it has the soya protein nuggets. And I just looked at it. I was like,
the Crispies.
There's crispy crunch in it. And I was like, oh, that's a good surprise. And it's not chewy whatsoever. It's literally like having a chocolate kind of just crunchy bar thing. Not an actual honeycomb crunchy, but like, imagine like a chocolate bar because obviously it's got pea protein, which is traditionally, if anybody's not had pea protein, is always quite earthy. It's got an earthy kind of taste to it, which I actually quite enjoy. And I quite like that. And then when it's got the soya protein nuggets, it's almost like having Rice Krispies put through it, which is a good taste. And then like the dark chocolate raspberry is kind of a classic taste now, isn't it? So like the dark chocolate raspberry or dark chocolate cherry, and it just tastes like I guess the ones that I know from that are like the PhD do something similar. I think that's better than that's better than a PhD bar. I would say.
What, a smart bar?
Yeah, a smart bar.
Better than a smart bar, is it?
I think that's better than a smart bar. I think it's quite good. And yeah, it's only 100 and, was it? It's 190 calories essentially, 189, which is okay. 15 grams of protein, which is fine. But yeah, I quite like the earthiness of pea protein, so I think that plays into me a little bit. So I'd recommend that if anybody needs to grab a little protein shot from Sainsbury's. I believe they are UK wide, those stores. You can grab one of those, a misfit bar. It's all right. I think they had a couple of varieties, but that was the one I grabbed. That was Chloe's choice, to be fair. Yeah, that was nice. Earthy pea protein.
There you go.
Pretty solid. And again, as we've learnt from this experiment, Dan, week in, week out, you need the blend of texture. If it's one thing, bullshit. I feel like maybe after we've gone through the next, when we've got our protein bakehouse done, maybe I'll send it for your birthday. We're just going to get a range of Quest bars, and we're just going to have a Quest bar off.
No, let's not do it to ourselves. Let's not do it to ourselves.
We'll include them in a like whenever we do a live one, when we're together, we'll get the Quest bars out. Could do that with Luke, Mike, Gigi, everybody. Yeah,
just go for it.
Well, there you go. What to bring it back, guys? I mean, I'm assuming Mike is still wanting to do his eating challenges. Can he do a load of Quest bars?
It mess you up. It will mess you up. Like, totally. I think they're not good. They are not good for you. Like those Quest bars, those old ones. Remember that? I shit you not. I used to remember, pun, shit you not. I used to have the chocolate chip cookie dough ones, and I used to think they were amazing. I used to think the chocolate chip cookie dough, when they had the chunks of chocolate in, when you were dieting, that was like your proper treat. Because again, at that time, you thought it was all bro. You thought you had to be good. Oh, like they were so good. I remember the first time I got introduced to a grenade bar, and it was Caramel Chaos one. And I was like, oh, it can't be that good. It's just like a Quest bar. It can't be much better than a Quest bar. And you have one, like, oh my God. That was like the first like chocolate bar one, wasn't it? That was the first one. And then Grenade took it by storm, and then a few others tried to catch up and do well with it. But the next generation one after that was the Smart Bar from PhD was the next one. They changed it and made it a little bit different. And then since then, they've just gone from strength to strength. Yeah. It's unbelievable what they can do now. It's unbelievable. Like, that is really nice. 20 grams of protein doesn't even feel like you're eating 20 grams of protein. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, it's come a long way. The protein bar industry,
protein bar world. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna dip into some protein desserts at some point as well, I believe, in our extravaganza.
Crazy.
Have you ever had? You've definitely had like the old muscle mousse stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, horrible.
You don't like it?
No.
The muscle mousse.
Well, again, it was ages ago. It might be better now.
The protein cups, like the microwave puddings.
Not those. No. I mean, I'm talking about the muscle mousse, like the actual muscle mousse.
Oh right, okay, yeah. I
remember buying 2 tubs of it. 2 tubs of it, made it, each one, both awful. Never used it ever again. Gave it away.
Really
awful. It used to just taste like BCAAs. You know that like metal taste. Oh, because you used to add BCAAs to shit because they thought it was really important. Not good.
People still
not good.
But yeah, there's muscle mousse like little protein cup things it's a microwave thing. You like literally it's just like putting like a muscle mousse protein powder, then you put a little bit of milk or water. I think it's just water, to be fair, and then bosh it in the microwave, and then it's almost like having a steamed pudding. You do like a caramel steamed pudding in a cup.
Yeah, you see, the muscle mousse must have improved. It must have done, because it was god awful, and they've obviously become a big company, so they must be doing all right. But I remember it tasting god awful, and they haven't changed it much by looks at white chocolate, raspberry, milk chocolate, milky white. Sorry, it's got to be the same. Like, I mean, it looks all right, doesn't it, in the pictures? But I just can't believe it. It per serving, 30 grams of protein. I mean, sounds good, doesn't it? 170 calories. Protein blend, Oh, it has changed though. It has changed because obviously it never had. It's the leucine. Why would you add leucine to a product that's got milk protein and whey protein in it? Because that's the awful taste. Is the leucine? That's the awful taste. Stupid, but I mean, obviously doing all right. Don't know how, because that muscle mousse is awful. The Beaver bars, they've got protein bars. Beaver bar, 2 protein fingers. Hang on a minute. Sounds a bit shop products. Hang on, because this looks like a protein bar we could try. That's what I'm thinking. Beaver bar. It comes in with 2 fingers to it, like a Twix.
Ooh. I like
Can
that.
I share my screen? No, you can't let me. It looks like a triple layered. It looks like a triple layered bar. Do you know?
How to record, make host. I'm not going to make you host.
No, I don't do that. Crazy. Yeah, they look all right. To be fair, the Beaver bar. How can I send that to you? I can't send it to you. Basically, it looks like a Beaver bar. Looks like it's got a protein, like middle bit, and at the bottom it's got the Soya Krispies, and on the top of the protein bit it's got caramel covered in chocolate. How can I get a picture of this for you? Oh, this must be it. Oh, follow us on Instagram. It's probably an Instagram picture. Is it? No, it's not. Gutting. But yeah, you guys at Beaver bars actually look decent. To be fair, I'm gonna throw it out there. I think that's got to be one for us to try, mate. A Beaver bar. I mean, a bit of a weird name, isn't it? 2 fingers of a Beaver bar, but whatever. It's only in your mind. That's bad. I don't know why it would be.
I like that though as a name, Beaver bar.
Beaver bar. Oh, there it is. I found a picture of it. Right, I'll share this with you. Here we go. Is that going to be the?
Shall I just make you the host of this session so you can put it on the screen?
No. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Change
fine,
host. As long as you give me it back, you can share the screen.
That's fine.
I've just made you the host. I've just made you the host.
Oh, amazing! There you go. There you go.
There we go.
That.
Ooh! So anybody who's on
like
YouTube can check this out.
It's nice. It's like a Twixy thing.
That does look good.
Yeah, doesn't it? I'm all over that. Let me see where have they gone? Yeah, there it is. Look there. See it? With a cup of tea.
What are the mountain chips?
They're not good either. They're just like protein crisps, but they're not actually like protein. There's not actually that much protein in them.
No, I've struggled to see where you can get protein in crisps. To be fair, it's always
it's just that whole thing in it of trying extra things. They do flapjacks as well, protein flapjacks.
Yeah, I've had the flapjack. It's just meh. They're always the protein flapjacks as a general rule are always dry. They are drier than the sun.
Drier than the sun. So there you go. They have, like I said, they have Beaver bars. Nice. Chocolate caramel or white chocolate. The white chocolate looks the best, let's be honest. But there you go. There you go.
Nice, mate. All right, should we move on?
Let's move on.
I mean, we might as well just do protein bars forever.
I mean, we could do, couldn't we?
What everybody wants. All right, we're going to talk about why. So, Mr. Daniel Meek, why on earth are you paying someone to write your programs and to check in and stuff?
Yeah, the very same reason my clients do it with me, I suppose. Yeah, I got to a point where I think for the last couple of months, I've just not been feeling good. I've just found, I suppose, energy levels low, just generally like not having like, it sounds bad, like not like in a bad, really, really bad way, but just don't have like, I suppose, a zest for life. Don't really like want to be particularly active. Got no desire to be active. And I thought it was just lockdown. I thought it was just the pandemic. I thought it was all this sort of stuff. I thought it was being busier with work. And I kind of like had a long, hard look at it, and I thought about it a lot. And I just realized I was just really fucking lazy. And I looked over my steps on my watch for the last 2 or 3 months. I barely got above 10,000 a day, barely done anything like that. My food's fine. Like, that's not a real issue. But I'm not like gained weight or gained fat. It's not what this is about. Then a few people have asked me this. They say, "Oh, what's the goal? Trying to get hench or do a photo shoot?" I'm like, no, it's literally just to feel better. And I know that the positive benefits that training has on overall mood, all that sort of stuff. But for me, it's more about having the energy and feeling good during the day and feeling like I want to get out of bed and all this sort of stuff. And not like I'm sat there like, I don't want to get out of bed today. Not that. It's just, it takes me half an hour to wake up, and and I know from myself that I've been in a position before where I haven't had that, and I haven't felt tired from doing nothing, and I haven't done all these things. And I think it could have been to do with lockdown and things like that. But actually, the more I thought about it, the more I just thought, hang on, I've had all this stuff available to me. I've had gym equipment available to me. I'm not had the motivation. I've got the garage, I've got all this space. And then I kind of looked at it and I was like, it's because I don't have any accountability, and it's because I'll lie to myself. And I said to myself, when I got all the stuff in the gym, I put the pull-up bar up, I was like, right, I've got the stuff I need now. I can do good sessions with what I've got. I can do good sessions, comfortable sessions. If my clients said they had that, I'd be like, brilliant, we'll get you in good shape. And I still wasn't doing it. I was using every excuse under the sun. I was like, oh, my DOMs are too bad. I was like, I'll wait another day. And then I'm like, oh, I'm too busy. And I sat down and I looked at my kind of schedule, my routine. And I was like, I'm not too busy. I'm really not. If my client had come to me and said I'm too busy with the hours I work and what I do, I'd go, well, you could do this, you could do that. And they'd go, oh yeah, you're right, I could. And I was just lying to myself. And that was the reality of it. Was I looked at it and I was like, I'm just lying to myself. And I thought about a coach for a little while. And then I've just always thought that the coaches that I do respect and want help from, they're niched down too far in certain other areas that I didn't really want to go down. And for me, it was a case of the training, the bodybuilder style training that maybe I've done previously for photo shoots and stuff, just doesn't excite me. I'm the least bit interested in like making my dumbbell shoulder press 2.5 kilos heavier for 8 reps. I just don't care. It doesn't interest me. And I noticed it when I trained over Christmas, when I went back into the gym. I realized that I just didn't have a desire to be like thinking about hypertrophy style training and training in the 8 to 12 rep range and trying to increase my weights and progressive overload, which we know is important for anything, right? But I realized over Christmas when I was back in the gym that I didn't enjoy it. I did it for 3 weeks, and when the gyms closed, I wasn't bothered. I was like, okay, no worries. Whereas most people I know were gutted because they enjoy their training. And I just realized that somewhere along the way, where it was the last 12 months, 18 months, I just lost my way a bit with training. I was just training how I thought I should train. And I was training the same way that I used to train for previous goals I had. And those goals are now not the same. So I can't attack a different goal with the same principles. It doesn't work. And it's funny actually, because I had a chat with Mike about it, and I had a chat with the PTs at the gym that I train at, and one of the guys who's there. And I reckon you'd say the same thing as well, is that it's about training age. And once you get to a certain training age, I think you realize you're either at your peak strength, you've reached your peak strength, or you've reached your peak leanness, or whatever you've done it. And then you kind of go, oh, well, now I just want to kind of enjoy this, really. I don't really care for much. And that's why when clients come to me and they're 30, 35, they do need to do weight training more so than most things, because they've tried all the other stuff. They're not really very good, but they need to just do solid weight training, and they'll get very strong. They'll put on muscle because they've never done a proper program before. Whereas for us, we've done proper programs for years. So going in there and doing like 6 exercises for upper body around the 8 to 12 rep range and stuff, it's like it's not really going to do huge amounts for us. And for me, it was doing nothing for motivation. I just wasn't bothered. And I realized, so I followed a guy who's a trainer at the gym that I train at. He only joined like 8 months ago, the gym. So I started following him, and he basically trains trains his clients and himself how we would train clients, like just flat out, like knows what he's doing, decent coach. And the problem I've always had is a lot of the coaches I respect in the industry that I would want to coach me, I'm too close to. Like you, for example, I get used to writing programs. I'll just go, nah, not doing it, mate, because you're too close. Like if your family said do it, you wouldn't do it. There's no accountability. And I kind of joked with the other guy. Again, I know the guy who owns the gym. And I said, I wouldn't ask you, because, I was like, to this trainer, I don't want to look like a fraud because he doesn't really know me. We got to have a mutual respect, but he doesn't know me. I'm not his friend. Whereas with the owner, I'm kind of like, know him a bit more. And I said to him, I'm a fraud, so I could just use that as an excuse. Do you know what I mean? I was like joking. I was just like, I'm an idiot. Like, I don't, whereas this guy is a bit of like, actually, I don't want him to think I'm a fraud, because there's that element I don't really know him, and I want to not impress him, but I just want to make sure I do a good job. And I just bit the bullet, and I was like, I just need someone to hold me accountable to doing 4 sessions a week, and I will get up at 6 a.m. And I will do my work then, and I will go to the gym during the day. But at the moment, it's too easy for me to pretend like, oh, I'm not going to do anything before I take Isabel to school because I ain't really got time. I have got time. If I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'd have loads of fucking time. And I just put up all these barriers, and I realized I put myself in my client's shoes, and I was like, if that was me listening to that as a coach, and that was my client, I would turn around and be like, you have got time, it's just not a priority. That's the reality of it. It wasn't a priority. And it got to the point where it was affecting me so much, affecting, like I said, my ability to concentrate, to work well. And I'd been following a lot of people who talk a lot about training first thing in the morning, or getting up and doing some stuff and training hard, and how beneficial it is for their headspace and their mental health. And it just clicked, and I was just like, how the fuck have I been so stupid? I was like, of course it is. I'm stupid things, like I get like headaches more often than I'd like. I probably spend too long looking at a screen for long periods of time, and I'm like, I could just break this up with some training. But I've got no motivation myself to go to the garage and do something, or go to the gym when they open. And I know that from this year, I've not had the motivation. Even when gyms have been open, I've not really been hugely motivated. So I just want someone else to tell me what to do. And I want them to check in with me every week, so that I have to report in and go, no, I didn't do that. I sacked it off, because then I look like a fucking idiot. I look like a fucking idiot to myself all the time, because I'm okay with that. Yeah. But to other people, I don't want to. And for me, it's that element of paying the money as well. Like, you don't want to waste the money as well, is that. But it's more just for me a case of, I don't have to go into a session and think about it, because at the moment I still do. I look at it and go, oh, I've got to make sure I do a push, a pull, hinge, and then whatever. And I just want to go in with a plan and go, right, that's what I'm doing today. Got to do it. And it's a bit of it's just, yeah, I think I've just reached a point where I just want to enjoy training again, and I want to train a variety of different things. I don't care about like progressive overload to a degree. I just want to feel better. And it just, I think it was also the right person, the right coach, the right sort of time as well. I think that's useful and beneficial. But I just got to the point where I think I was seeing all the things my clients say about coaching, and I was sat there going, why do I not feel like this? And I was like starting to look at it, and I was feeling like I was reading their questionnaires and being like, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I feel shit. I don't do this. I don't do that. And it was just a moment of realization. I was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and we all lie to ourselves. And I think you just get to a point where you just stick to doing what you enjoy or what you like, and you don't push yourself. You don't change. You don't try anything different. You kid yourself. So I just want to be pushed, and I want someone to do it for me. So that's what I did.
Nice, mate.
Bit the bullet, basically. Yeah. But it's someone like as well who trains a bit differently to how I have been training, but also trains people how I would train clients. And I've always said this, like the way I train my clients in the gym in third space wasn't necessarily how I always trained myself. He's done Olympic lifting, he's done the the powerlifting stuff, he's done bodybuilding, he's done functional training. Should we call it, Tom? Functional training. He does functional training.
We're going on to that.
He's done he's dabbled around in CrossFit and stuff, and he's kind of been through. I think his training age is he's quite a bit younger than me, but his training age is quite old. He's probably been training for like 7 or 8 years. I think he's like 25, something like that, 26. But he's very switched on, and the way he trains his clients, I've seen what he does, and I've seen how he trains, and just from a chat with him for half an hour, he was talking about and I shit you not, like I don't think he knows you. He's only known.
How dare he not know me?
Yeah, I know. I don't really talk about this sort of stuff, but it was really nice to hear someone go, so yeah, basically what I do is I don't do body part splits. You're going to be doing full body every session, whether you do 3, 4, or 5 a week. There'll be a little bit of a bias one way or the other, but he's like, you're going to do a push, a pull, a hinge, a squat, a carry, a metcon. And I was just sat there like, are you Tom Hall? Like, have you seen Tom Hall? But it's that, and it's kind of that thing of, I just know he's a good trainer. I just know he knows his stuff. And he was, he talked to me through. He's like, look, you're gonna have 6-week blocks. Each 6-week block, there'll be a focus of a skill movement, of a conditioning movement. We're gonna have the times that are set for those things. We're gonna look to improve those each week. We'll then debrief that 6 weeks and do another 6 weeks, and we'll go through the thing, and we'll have a bigger plan and a picture. And I'm like, that's what I need. Because I can't see that in myself right now. I do it for all my fucking clients. I cannot do it for myself because it's too close. And I'm like, oh, I'll change this, do that. Make an excuse here, make an excuse there. And I just need someone to say, do this and fucking crack on with it. You're doing better. You're doing well. Don't fucking worry about where you're at. Just keep going. And that's what I need right now. And it's just that weird place where it has to be someone that you trust, you like, but aren't too close to that you would sack it off. It's a weird thing. You can't not know them at all, but you also can't be like really, really close to them. It has to be somewhere in the middle. And that's the thing I think and I know that as I train with him, I'll become his friend and I'll become close, like all my clients do, but because it starts off with that relationship of trust and work almost, you never lose that first. Whereas if you go the other way, you can't be a friend first and then go into work. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't really work like that. So I know that I'll get to know him, and I know that it'll probably go on to be a good mate and stuff. But it will start with that, so it will always be useful going forward.
It's an interesting one, like how you were just describing that as well. And I guess I get up my goat a little bit about the whole, because obviously I'm dipping more into that world now, and I just lived in my bubble for the last 5 years, essentially, like educating people how I believe that training should be and being trusted with that. And then with the PTC, and I'm sure there's a few guys that obviously follow or have started listening to this podcast, realizing I'm from the PTC stuff and what I'm preaching is like not bodybuilding training, and go, I'm sorry, what? Especially with the audience that like has come from it was originally SBS, wasn't it? It's Shredded by Science, which is all the bros. So, and I'm going, it's against the grain. But I love the thing you just said there in terms of you've got like a time to hit, or that thing, how quickly or how many rounds you're going to do, or that's what you're going to improve. It's nothing to do with getting a bigger back, spreading your lats, getting a bigger chest, because that's all kind of, it's quantifiable to a degree, but it's so dependent on like so many different like aspects as well. And
I've done that as well.
We talk about performance-based goals and like that other fucking shit that you're like, I want to get a better like I don't know, glutes and stuff. It fucking comes with it. And why can't we get a performance-based goal anyway? Like cracking through there, you're gonna improve your vert, or you're gonna improve because it doesn't have to be 1RMs, like guys. It's just like we talk about them in the performance testing. It's like it can be vertical jumps. It can be just like your one. I'm assuming he will probably be like, all right, you're gonna do max calories on a rower for a minute. That's your target. That will probably your metcons will improve that. Like you obviously there's a certain level, or it would probably be like air dyne work or assault bike work, and it'll be like, all right, you're going to get your max distance on an assault bike or your peak power or stuff like that. And it's like, hang on,
it's also that style of training that I actually want to do, because I've always been that guy who's like, I don't do cardio, and it's got to the point where I'm like, actually, I probably should, because do you know what? It's probably good for you, and it is good for you. And like, just to give you an example, like. And I know he obviously the way he trains is different. I'm not expecting him to train me how he trains, because he's a good trainer. But just to give you an example, like, I think I've looked at a few of his workouts, and a few of them just stuck out to me as they go, actually, that's the sort of shit I should be doing. So he did one, and it was literally just like he did 4 rounds of 2 kilometers on the bike, and then a 50-meter medicine ball carry, which was 30 kilos. So he's just carrying it in front of him, just moving, and then doing like 1.5 kilometer on the bike, 25 ground over the shoulder with the big ass fucking ball, stuff like that. And he got a time for it, and he's like, right, if you do that a few more times, you try and beat your time. That's kind of the thing with it. And then there's another one where it was like, I can't remember what it was now. Where has it gone? It was something to do with 21. It's like things like 21. 15, 9, stuff like that, like those sorts of things. You do 21 reps, 21, and then rest 21, and then 30 cals on a bike, and then you're going to do single arm dumbbell power snatch for 3, 20, things like that. And like there's stuff that for me, just like when you look at it, you go, yeah, that makes sense. It's, people who are fit can do it and stuff like that. And I know that you'll build up to that, and I know it takes time, but it's that whole thing of being just a well-rounded sort of, I suppose, athlete is how you would term it.
People that be screaming down there like things, going, that's just CrossFit, Dan, just CrossFit. But what did you say? It was like, he's just a strength coach. He just knows
it's just strength
what he's meant to be doing. And what we said was pre-show, I was like, all he's doing is filling every bucket you have. He's putting something in every bucket. And that's how we discuss it in the PTC. It's like we fill every bucket. We got flexibility or mobility kind of training. So we've got mobility. Yeah. Then we've got power-based stuff. Then we've got speed-based stuff. And we've got strength-based stuff. and then we've got Metcon based stuff. And then, and that all comes into a cardio based stuff. We just put something in every bucket. It's not CrossFit. It's not like anything. It's just like, hang on a minute. No, we're just going to try and make you the best human you can be to feel better.
That's it. It's things like that, like capacity work. It's things like strength work. It's all that sort of stuff. And it's funny because I spoke to him and he gets labeled as,
which we'll go into now, shall we?
Talk about in a bit. Yeah, he gets labeled. I sat down and spoke to him and he's like, oh yeah, I get labeled as like a functional training coach. He's like, and I fucking hate it because it's like I just train people to be strong. And it's like strong, like, the word strong, it's like we associate it with lifting weights, but actually you've got to be strong to do an Ironman. That's strength, right? Yeah. Whether it's mental, physical, whatever it is. And I think it's more like the strength and resilience thing that I want to do. I said to him, my goal, I want to be able to, if someone said, we're going on a bike ride, do you want to come? To be able to go, yeah, okay. And if someone said to me now, I would be like, oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, my God. And like, same for running. If someone said, do you want to go run 5K? Yeah, okay. Or when I go to basketball, I don't feel deconditioned because I don't feel really sore from like doing loads of RDLs and stuff. Because it's like, oh no, because I just train full body. I just use my whole body. I just train hard and I get out of breath and all that sort of stuff is I just want to be strong and resilient. And that's what it is. And that's how, like, and it's how I coach my clients. Like there's definitely more of a strength training bias, a resistance training bias than there is the Metcon stuff, things like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if my approach to my clients at some point will change because of this, because I'll go, no, actually, this is pretty important. I've realized it. Because our own biases do creep into our coaching. Of course they do. If you're a client listening to this, don't worry, you won't have cardio like as of tomorrow, but next few months it might go in there. But, yeah, but watch out. But even with that sort of stuff, again, it's about, for me, it's the whole training age thing that we talked about. And it's just understanding that once you've done 3-4 years of training, once you've done 5 years of doing different ways, you find the way you prefer to train. And I think for me, I've just realized, for me, bit and bob, bits of everything, as long as I'm improving and feeling good and feeling stronger, for me, that's functional. That's my functional training. Do you know, that's what I want to do. And you can call it that if you want. It's not what it is, but it is just good strength training. And that's my argument. If you want to be a power lifter, go and power lift. That's powerlifting. That's not strength training. That's powerlifting. You want to be a bodybuilder, go and do bodybuilding. That's not like, it's not strength training. That's bodybuilding. For me, it's strength training is what we all do, like by doing this sort of thing. So yeah, basically it's functional training, Tom. So it's all good. But it's not dysfunctional training. So, do you know, that's the main thing, isn't it? It's not dysfunctional. But I'll keep you all updated as well. Like, I think that's the other thing. Like, I just before we go into that functional training bit, is I was quite surprised by the reaction of people when I sort of spoke about it. I sort of mentioned that I'd got a coach, and people were like, oh, it's great to see your honesty, the fact that you recognize this, and it's really good to hear you say this and this sort of stuff. And I think you forget just how much shit there is on Instagram, that just being yourself and being honest, people like go, oh, that's really good, that's really nice to see. I'm like, well, yeah, obviously I'm just being honest, like where I'm at. And I think sometimes it makes you realize how shitty social media is. People just fucking make stuff up. I could have done it and not said anything and been like, oh, it's all me, like I just changed and I did all this. But it's like, that's not how you do shit. No. Like for me, that's not the one. And I think it's important to, as a coach especially, to go, look, I recognize the importance of coaching. I recognize it. I understand the benefits of it. And it isn't about, I know how to lift a weight from A to B. It's the accountability, the support, the taking away the stress, taking away all that sort of stuff, more so than it is the actual number of reps and sets and stuff. Unless he gives me burpees, and then I'm going to sack him. But other than that, like, it's all good, Are burpees functional?
No.
Just a question. They are dysfunctional. Burpees are dysfunctional.
They're the only exercise are dysfunctional.
I think I've got my Team No Burpees t-shirt.
No beer. Mine's in the wash right now. Yeah, Jesus. No burpees.
So what's your problem with functional training, Tom? Come on, what's your problem with functional training, mate?
I've got no problem with functional training, as long as there is a function to your training.
All training's functional, isn't it?
So that's what I said. Basically, It's resurfacing. It's bubbling up, and we need to squash it again.
Why? What's happened? Like to make it?
What's happened?
Do you think it's because? Do you think it's the people who worked out at home, so they have less equipment? So it's like, oh, it's functional because I'm using this to do this.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like because
that is functional training. If you're using like a wheelbarrow and you put weights in it, that is functional training because that's what you do with it.
But I'm not doing it to get these logs into the place I want to. I'm going to keep going up and down. Therefore, I'm training to just in case I need to put these logs over there. I'm going to train to do that by progressively overloading with more logs every week. Cool. That is functional training. Or is it just kind of cool, like a little lift and some conditioning of some sort? So obviously the functional training is all right. So this is just a question was asked in our private My Protein group. And I did refrain from answering because it's something that I quoted as irks me. And just like your coach there, most recently, from people that I've got to admit have recently gone through their level 3 personal trainer, they look at stuff that I do, and I would say I'm more down the road of rehab, prehab, and power, like plyometric stuff. That's the stuff I nerd out on, but I do all the other crap as well. And I do more of that stuff. But then they've called me, you do more functional training, right? Like you're a functional training coach. And I'm always like, not what I am. Like just a strength coach. Like, biomechanist, actually. That's what my degree says. But yes, I would say that. I have an SSC degree. No? Okay, cool. So I do strength and conditioning. Whoa, mental. What, you do conditioning, Tom? Yeah, like I'm the bellend that Dan said, like makes their clients do rounds of stuff. Like I literally teach it in the PTC to do rounds of shit as a safety circuit. But yeah, it was just like, the question was out of curiosity, what's everyone's views on functional training? So do you think it's all, do you use it all, but think it's another fad? So I answered this question. Obviously I got baited into answering this question from our salesman, Alec, thank you, because I resisted in kind of answering because I didn't know how it would come across. But then I was like, fuck it, I'm meant to be in here as an educator. I've got to express my opinion. And so I wrote, just to let everybody know, just to throw it out there, what isn't functional training? I was like, if whatever the function of the exercise or its purpose will dictate whether it's functional or not. So I use the thing, a bicep curl is functional training for getting bigger biceps. Bicep curls are not functional training for getting a better 100-meter sprint time. I think that's fair. But then I had to really think because I was like, oh, it's not functional training for a golf swing. But then I'm like, no, you actually do bend your bicep in that, so therefore it would be. And I was like, or like doing this, and I was like, oh no, I was like, I'm caught in my own facade, and I was like, it's going to be all over the place. Then I went on to say, as saying there is functional training, therefore there is dysfunctional training. I would class dysfunctional training as stuff that has literally no point. It's just you're doing it because it's hard, that kind of crap.
Burpees.
Right? Burpees, thank you. And then I was like, I realize it's a buzzword. So my opinion, functional training is just a buzzword for anything that is not powerlifting or bodybuilding. That's it. And then I was like, it's just good foundational strength training. Functional training is a fucking terrible term because it is so ambiguous, it's insane. It could be anything. It could be function to walk up some stairs. It could be function to get up off the floor. It could be functionality to get a bigger back squat. It could be function to do anything, to run faster, to do a backflip, to wander to the side, I don't know, to roll over, all that kind of stuff, to be able to throw a ball faster. I don't know. That's the function. So it's just good foundational strength training with, like we said, it's fill in the buckets that all we got: mobility, flexibility, power, plyometrics, elasticity, strength, metcon, conditioning, all that kind of stuff, hypertrophy if we need it. So I was like, in my head, functional training, the term, is some crazy balance training, trying to use a Viper, because people like using Vipers if they're functional coaches.
Battle ropes.
Battle ropes, as many bands as possible while standing on a Bosu ball. in my head, that is a functional coach, and I am not that person, and I never will be. I'm the guy that's do simple stuff well, like, and then you get to
like Joel
progress.
Seaburn.
Yeah, that's the guy. If you want to go see a functional coach, there's the lad that you want to see. And then
my athletes don't ever bend their knees past 90 degrees. So there's no point training it there. Well, your athletes don't know how to move properly.
Clearly. I was like, someone's getting injured at some point. They're like, yeah, Caleb Heineke, I coach this NFL athlete. It's like, he's like our first string quarterback. He's not great. Never really played. All train. So I was like, my thoughts are all training should be functional for whatever function or the purpose is. Getting faster, more elastic, bigger calves are all functional. I just hate the term. And I was like, if you really want to know about the term, and because it does come up in lots of crappy CPD, like TRX courses and functional training courses, whatever they are, I'd say, don't do those. Come and do my PT course, because that is actual. If you want to call it functional training, then if you pay me money, then you can call it whatever you like. You can call it like going to the moon training. I don't care. But that it's just good foundational strength training for the 95% of the population who just are like Daniel. And believe me, it's weird that Daniel is in the majority and he is one of those people who just wants to feel better and wants to feel better, be a little bit healthier, move better, be a little bit stronger. That's what they want to do. That's why they train. And probably there's a lot of people who don't know the benefits of it, who are stuck and don't know what they're meant to be doing and stuck doing bodybuilding because that's what they think they should be doing as well, which is because that's what's taught as well. That's the bad thing. When we have the luxury of having a university education, Dan, and working in professional sport and being exposed to some of this stuff, but in the level 3, at a basic level, they don't get exposed to it very well. It's changed, but it's still basic as shit. Like, they're given more leeway. You can go do some lunges, but it's not like you have to do back squat. You have to do this. Like, so I was just like, be aware of it being used. And if it is used, we've had Kevin Carr on the podcast. He's released his book this year. It's Functional Training Anatomy. I would go read that. He's a good lad. Well, I know him pretty well. I spent 3 weeks of my life with him. Nice chap from Boston. Trained under Mike Boyle, and then there's Mike Boyle's classic. I was like, anybody that basically comes in an onboarding week with me, I will ask them to go away and read, or at least have developing like reading of Mike Boyle's new functional training for sports. I was like, that is basically it, because it's just a term of like using unilateral training and kind of every day, but it's just like, I'm gonna keep going, fill every bucket, just like. Life's too short just to be like, I'm going to do bodybuilding. Yeah, you know when you're not a bodybuilder. It's like, if you're fine, then crack on.
I think as well, it will always be, it's always hard to see it when you're in it as well. Like, I think you sometimes have to go through it all. Because I kind of explained to him as well. I said, look, I said to him, I've done things before when I've trained and when I've had a goal.
I've been there, man. I've been
there. Yeah, like I said to him, I said, you know, when we trained hard, I was like, look, I've done a bodyweight snatch. I've done a 1.5 bodyweight clean. Like, I've done these things that are somewhat impressive. But once I did that, I then realized that to get to the next milestone was too fucking out. I'd never get there. I'd hurt myself. And then I was like, right, what's the next thing? Next thing was bodybuilding. Next thing was that thing. And I was like, and I'd done the photo shoot and I looked all right. And I was quite happy, but I got no motivation to try and do it again because it doesn't sort of get me going. And I said, I'm just at that point in my life now where I've realized, look, I'm never going to win any awards at anything physically. I just want to feel good. I just want to feel good. And I want to be able to run around. I want to be able to do stuff and not feel unfit and just feel good. I just don't feel good right now. That's the way I described it. I was like, I just don't feel good. And I want to be able to just do things and just be able to run around and not think twice. And, you know, I just want to be able to complete a program and feel good about it. And I've not done that for a long time. I think even when I'm really honest with myself and look back even 18 months when we could go to the gym and I wasn't really enjoying it. Me and Mike weren't really enjoying training then either. And I had the same chat with him the other day. He was like, I don't care. He's like, I'm just not bothered. And I think there's also an element of this as well, that I think once you become very secure in yourself as a person, I'm not trying to get bigger muscles to impress anyone. And I think when you're younger or more impressionable, maybe, is that you think it's a bit more about looking good for other people, or being stronger and showing off and having an ego. And like, my ego is not attached to my physique in any way, shape or form. It's attached to other things. Like, we're all a bit egotistical. We've all got things that stroke our ego and things we want to look good for and that we want to be known for. And for me, at my point in my life, it's not my physique and it's not my ability to move weight from A to B. It's other things that go on with work and all that other stuff. And that's the other thing, is that I think a lot of people who maybe get into their 40s, 50s, and they want to get on the bodybuilding and they love it. And it's like, that's what they attach their life to, or their ego to, whatever it is. And that's their thing. And that's cool. And I've got no problem with that. And if that's what gets you off and gets you out of bed, go for it. It doesn't with me. And I've just accepted that and gone, right, I need to change how I'm doing things. And I think it takes someone who's quite self-aware. And I always pride myself on that. I think I'm fairly self-aware. I take personal responsibility. I'm the one that got myself into this. I need to get myself out of it. No one's coming to save me, blah, blah, blah. I'm self-aware enough to know that I'm doing this to myself and I need to change that, rather than, oh, it's the lockdown. Oh, it's the pandemic. It's like, it's not. It's really not. It's me being a lazy twat is what it is. And I need someone to shake me out of it. And it's as simple as that. I think that you become self-aware enough to know that, look, life's more important than whether you can do a lat pull down with 70 kilos or 60 and whether you progressively overload to get to that point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you feel good and you enjoy what you're training. And I haven't had that. And that's the goal. And I think that should be the goal for anyone training, is that it's enjoyable. You get a result out of it, of course, but it's aligned to the goal you want to achieve. And that's the reality. And it's fine. Look, some people are going to have physique goals for as long as they live. And that's cool. I'm okay with that. Yeah. It's just not me. It's just not me.
And there's no reason why some of this performance-based goals, and it's fine, can go along with that. And another thing,
and they 100% can. They 100% can. Yeah.
That nobody's ever gone like this. Nobody's ever improving their 1 mile run or gaining a little bit more shoulder flexibility and gone, oh, I wish I hadn't done that.
Yeah. It's also like you've said before as well about athletes and stuff. Athletes don't train and then look worse for it either. There's also that element to it. NFL athletes don't train and look worse for it. They look better for them, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's just remembering that as well. It's
you can't do cardio. Are you insane? It's like,
yeah,
what? Adama Traore is doing all right. He's huge. So it's like, all right, geez, Ronaldo, yeah, okay. He was a scrawny little man, and look at him now. I'm not saying, but he probably runs up and down a pitch quite a lot. So it's weird. It's a weird thing to always be like, oh, you can't, it's going to hurt your gains or this kind of stuff. But yeah, functional training, get rid of this ridiculous phrase. Just strength training. Because we wouldn't go into an S&C gym in America and be like, crazy, you're just doing functional training, aren't you? Boyle. Boyle would be like, yeah, you can care what the hell it is. Couldn't give a shit what you think of it. It'd be like, doesn't matter to me. S&C coaching. That's all it is. Strength and conditioning. Bosh. Moving well. All right, mate. We've rambled enough.
Good training.
We've rambled enough. Any other biz?
Not for me.
No, not for me either. Nothing exciting happening. Gyms are opening in circa a few days, 2 weeks, something like that.
Circa.
Circa.
What do you think you are, circa?
You've got to Google that to check what it means.
Damn right,
all right, guys. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next week.
See you later.